Stanley. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, dude. Like, I mean, he was old, but when we get that, but like for him to live that long and put in so much,
Yeah, I agree.
in the world, like it's incredible.
I mean, some of my most treasured things from my childhood exist because of Stan Lee. The X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
Smooth, right?
I know. I'm sorry.
Smooth.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A big part of my life. Both the comic and the cartoon. X-Men as well, like you mentioned. Yep. He's responsible for a lot of great characters, and not only creator but co-creators of a bunch of other characters like Ant-Man. I mean, I can go on forever, but it's.
Do you have a favorite Marvel character?
Oh, easy, yeah. Spider-Man.
Is it Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spider-Man was the one. Well, I mean, I love Spider-Man and X-Men. Those are the two that I put myself in, like, not into, but like I can relate to. Right. Especially with Spider-Man. Him loving science and technology, and then like him also being like the nerd and being not necessarily an outcast, but like.
No, but with X-Men, they're definitely outcasts.
That's why I would put outcast more as X-Men, which is where I would put also where I relate to is them, being pushed aside by society, stuff like that. I mean, that goes a little bit further, but it was just the people in X-Men, but Spider-Man was my first like real comic book that I got into, and reading Spider-Man. I mean, going back to the old comic books and the trades where I've only read a few. I never finished it. I know, bad on me, but like I've read the early stuff that he's done. Yeah. Or the beginnings of his creations, and it's amazing. It's so relatable even to today. Yeah. Yeah, technology and things like that have changed, but it's like he was a good dude. He was a really good dude, and it's
awesome
hard.
Stories, awesome characters. Definitely something that hit me harder than I thought it would. Just because, like we've talked about it here before, I didn't read a lot of comic books. The most of my Marvel stuff comes from cartoons and things like that from when we were younger in the 90s and things. But just kind of like knowing where things have gone because of him. Like now, rather than getting called like a dork or a nerd or being an outcast for liking comic book characters, people go in droves opening night to see these massive movies. And while they may not be for me, they're taking characters that I grew up loving and putting them out there. And now other people feel a way about those characters that I didn't think anybody mainstream would. And it's, it all starts with, Stan Lee.
Yeah. I actually did a report on Stan Lee.
Really?
I don't know if it was in early high school or was it middle school. I think it was high school.
Man.
We had to do this project, and I was like, all right, I love Spider-Man. I want to know everything that's about Spider-Man and the X-Men. So then I pretty much did my whole report on Stan Lee and what he created, him, Jack Kirby. Before it was Marvel, it was Timely Comics. Yeah. Everything. I learned everything about him and his creations and what led to just more. And to eventually TV shows, movies, because we had that old Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
With the Lou Ferrigno.
I used to watch in syndication all the time when I was a kid. That was one of my favorite shows.
There was the Captain America movies. There was the Bad Punisher movie.
Yeah.
And when I did all that research on him, like I went to see, like, I want to see these on the big screen. You know, like I yearn for these, and I saw those growing. I saw the bad ones. The bad ones, yeah. Although Incredible Hulk, I enjoyed.
The TV show was very good.
Yeah, the TV show was good. Even though his name was David, not Bruce, in the show. But I enjoyed everything. And then like when Spider-Man was announced,
the Tobey Maguire
one. The Tobey Maguire one, like I go further before that, even X-Men, because X-Men came out in 2000.
Okay. Yeah. Did X-Men come out first? I thought
X-Men came out first. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to get really technical, Blade came out first.
Yeah, I don't count Blade. I mean, I count Blade, but
you count Blade, but it was like a mixture of studio and really.
And Blade,
a lot of people had their
hands on that. The first two Blade movies are very good. I like both of those movies a lot, more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I like the first one a lot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, X-Men was
X-Men, like that was like it boggled my mind. Like, how are they gonna show their powers? How are they gonna do this? And for that time, like that was amazing.
I still say that even though 3 is looked upon as being really bad in both of those franchises, honestly, but I defend that X-Men trilogy to anybody that wants to fight me on it. Even how outrageous it gets in the 3rd movie. I also think that having the urge to go back, and I want to go back and watch. I talked about this with you a few weeks ago.
Because I went back and watched them.
When I watched the first Spider-Man movie in theaters, I was like, this actually treated something that I really care about with a lot of respect and did a great job of it. And I know a lot of people like 2 more than they like 1. I'm not a fan of 2. I don't like 3 at all.
Yeah, it was funny because I hated 2. I didn't like 2 either. But then the more I looked into it, and the more I kind of dissect it. Like, I like 2 a lot.
I still think that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, that first one, is one of the best
origin stories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And best comic adaptations. You can put it up against anything that's coming out now. And that's with rose-colored glasses and nostalgia talking of almost 20 years and not having really watched it since then. But I really still feel like that movie would hold up. And I really think you and I should do a rewatch. I said it in a chat, and I'm going to say it here.
Still kind of funny's idea.
We need to do a rewatch and talk about how we feel about Spider-Man today.
Yeah. That's actually a really good idea. In fact, yeah. Maybe something we could do before Thanksgiving so we could have something to put up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are movies, but like he had his hand in it. Him and Avi Arad. Mm-hmm. Those 2 were the executive producers of these movies, the first X-Men and Spider-Man. And I was watching interviews with him before, getting into this, and like he said, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter about the reboots and whatever. Like he never believed to see his characters come to screen, come alive. He says he loves every one of them. He's like, it's hard to pick one favorite character because it's like trying to pick your favorite child. So,
well, one of the main reasons Stan Lee will always be gold in my book is because I remember when first Spider-Man came out and was about to come out, they asked him like, "Oh, if you're happy with the casting and this and that and the right," and he's like, "Oh, I love it." And they asked him, "Is there anything you would do differently?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'd have made it 15 years ago, and John Cusack would have been Spider-Man."
He said that?
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's a really good casting too.
Yeah. Like think of 16 Candles, John Cusack, like 1986 John Cusack. Be perfect for Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then, as you guys know, if you watch any amount of this show, John Cusack is one of my all-time favorite actors. I love his movies. Kind of tried to model my character as a human being after characters that he played in movies. So that's just where I'm at with that. So when he said that, I was like, you're gold in my book, Stanley, forever.
He actually, because I remember he did talk about his favorite character. And he said he liked Ant-Man because he created it with his brother.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it was a Larry King interview, and he asked him, like, did you like what Paul Rudd did? And he was like, yeah, I was like, I absolutely loved it. But he does love everything.
But yeah, he's not going to hate
But he's not going to hate anything
because
either.
He's getting to see, things that he had a hand in creating and things that he helped other people create get seen by this huge, massive audience. And whether it's loved or hated, seeing it brought to that audience, there's no way you can't love that as a creator. There's no way you can't.
There was also something I saw online today where it said that he didn't want to be in the Fantastic Four movie, the current one, with the Miles Teller and Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan. But it turned out, he said in that interview, that he was going to do his cameo, but they were filming somewhere far and he couldn't travel.
Yeah.
So he had to say no because he couldn't make it. Otherwise, he would have done it. People were saying like, "Oh, he didn't want to do it."
Okay.
Like, no, that was bullshit.
Fucking internet.
Go watch the Larry King interview. Yeah. He just couldn't make it because it was too much travel.
Yeah, it's real harsh on a 90-year-old dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
But it's amazing how much he loved his fans, and like to the like last con he went to, he was still there signing autographs because he wanted to be there for them.
Yeah.
He's like, what did he say? He does it for the fans because he never he did it for himself, but at the same time, he's doing it for the fans because he never thought people would like what he wrote. And he was embarrassed of being a comic book writer.
Yeah, and then he's always said that when he goes to those cons, his favorite thing to do is like he doesn't. It's not the ego boost of signing autographs and taking pictures. He likes to talk to people. He likes to meet people. He wants to ask them questions. Like that's something that he's always said. Like I want to know why and who and what people love about what I do. And what brings them out to these conventions.
Yeah, it's... A dude can create universes.
Yeah.
And he will be missed.
Been a lot of really, really good fan art stuff to go up.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty good fan art where it shows him walking up to heaven. Yeah. Did you see that one? Yeah. Like, you're not too bad at creating universes yourself, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one really got to me. I was like, that's fucking good.
That's the one that hit me really hard. I was like, man. He did. He created something for everybody to escape to. He had a hand in creating that. I don't want to say he did it all himself because obviously he didn't. He had people around him. He had teams around him later on in life. Right, he had whole different people, but it all stems from these creations that came through him.
Yeah. Cameos. Everyone keeps talking about their favorite cameos. They're like, oh, the Avengers or Spider-Man Homecoming or whatever. My favorite cameo is the one from Spider-Man the Animated Series. Have you seen that one?
No, I don't think. I'm sure I have, but I don't remember.
I'll put a clip in right here.
I don't believe what you're telling me. In your reality, I'm a character in fiction? Yep, and I'm an actor who plays you on TV. But there's someone here I knew you had to meet. He's the man who created you for fans all over the world.
And I said to Jack, what if his skin turns green?
Excuse me. I'm looking for some guy named Stan Lee.
What? Spider-Man? Pam, hold my calls for a while. I think I've finally gone crazy. Oh, man! Wow! You know, Spidey, I've always wanted to experience real web-slinging.
And I've always wanted to be appreciated as a real hero. It seems you've made me into one. Thanks.
Hey, don't mention it. After saving all of reality, where do you go from here?
To find Mary Jane. My Mary Jane. I've been told she's still alive. I can't wait to see her. You know, for so long, I've thought that I never got any breaks. But now, after all I've been through, for once, I like my life. I like myself. And for the first time ever, I wouldn't want to change anything about me.
Gee, you're definitely not the same guy I've been writing about all these years.
Well, Stan, we all have to grow up sometime, I suppose. Even us characters of fiction.
Spider-Man, it's time to go.
Who is that exotic lady?
Oh, her? Oh, she's my ride. It's been great meeting you. Take care of yourself.
You too, Spider-Man. Farewell and good luck. Wow, I wonder how I'm supposed to get down from here. I suppose I could wait for the Fantastic Four to drop by and give me a lift.
That's the one that I like.
Okay.
Because it shows him... It shows... Okay, so like... just by watching the clip, you'll see like it's dealing with different universes.
Right.
Because I think it was Secret Wars that they were doing on the animated series. I could be wrong about that one. But, you know, they have different dimensions, you know, different Earths. And he goes to the Earth where Stan Lee is on, which is, I believe, Earth 616. And Spider-Man swings in. Everything's... Well, it's because it's an animated series. He swings in. It's like, I'm looking for some guy named Stan Lee. You know? And then he takes some web slinging, as you saw. Yeah. And it's just... It's incredible, the interaction between those two. It's like... It's the actor talking to Spider-Man, who's the actor playing Spider-Man as well, too.
I think Stan Lee playing the strip club DJ...
Deadpool?
In the first Deadpool... is probably my favorite, just because I think that's the funniest.
That's funny, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with that one. I know that's super recent, but I belly laughed when that happened because I thought that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. That's on par with George Clooney playing the gay dog on South Park and just going roof, roof, the whole episode. Like it's that good. It's where you won't expect it. So I gotta go with that one.
Cool.
We won't.
So-
we won't put a clip of that one because YouTube.
I'll
and-
put a clip.
Yeah.
We don't make shit on this, so. But anyways, yeah. So we had to talk about it because
Yeah.
the guy's a legend.
And as the week wore on, I realized that it did affect me a lot more than I thought it was going to. So, rest in peace, Stan Lee, and thank you for everything you created.
Yes. So.